My memory of attending Mass on this Feast of the Holy Family is one of squirming in the pew as I heard a sermon on how a truly holy family ought to act. The result of the message was guilt that our family, and me in particular, wasn't perfect. The feast has been maintained as a part of the Christmas liturgies, but in recent years, the planners and presiders can choose readings which take two different tracks to approach the biblical story of Jesus' birth family and a wider message. One traditional reading is from the book of Sirach. He describes the roles of fathers, mothers, and children. Again, this is an ideal, which may or may not reflect the realities of those listening, but does present important values for any set of relationships. That family track is echoed in the gospel story about Jesus getting lost and separated from his parents. When Joseph and Mary find Jesus in the temple, Mary expresses real anxiety. "Son, why have you done this to us?" A youngster might hear a mother's scolding in Mary's words. But there's a second track, a wider sense of family reflected in this gospel story, as well as in the other optional readings. The first book of Samuel tells of the childless Hannah, whose prayers are answered with the birth of Samuel, who will grow up to be a prophet. In Mary's unexpected pregnancy, Luke is telling how God is working in those who are perhaps excluded in society, yet are part of the salvation story. The letter to the Colossians connects the family track to the wider understanding of Christian life. Another option for the second reading from the first letter of John speaks of the broader family of God and how we are to love. And again, Luke's story of the finding of Jesus in the temple is also a hint of what's to come later in Jesus' mission. It transcends blood relationships. As Catholic scholar Father Raymond Brown explains, Luke shows later in the gospel that Mary would come to understand this. She is the model for us of what it means to hear God's word and live it out. As this year ends, I'd like to add a word of thanks to those of you who've written to say that you enjoy these reflections. Please know that I am grateful and glad that you find them helpful. And I hope that as we continue into the new year, that may be the same for you and for me as we share these reflections.